Good morning. Now we continue our A Scarf, Carol Shield short story. The last class we stopped why and how she became through Retta Winters as a representative character, and her book My Time's Up is considered to be very popular. And during the time of interview, she mentioned her husband's name and children's name, and consequently everybody was very happy. Now she has been awarded Offenden Prize, and the ceremony of the Offenden Prize for her novel was celebrated at New York. And she has been given a trip to 3 important places where she plans to go. That was the last stage we discussed and stopped. Now you take page number 125, A Scarf. I don't consider myself a sunny person. Underline sunny. Sunny is very important person. That I am also sunny. So you consider sunny person means brightful, cheerful, happiest person. I don't consider myself a sunny person. In fact, if I prayed, I would ask every day to be spared from shame of dumb sunniness. Daily Westerman has taught me that mature life, her reflection of the life. Don't hide your dark side from yourself, she always said. It is reported one of her friends, Retta Winters' friend, Danielle Westerman, she advised you always should be very happy. Never show your dark side of your mind. You never show your dark side of your heart to anybody. Unspeakable brilliance, she wrote, of course, amid the shadows of Holocaust. Means some people's subject matter in the novels and stories even might have been related to Holocaust. Underline Holocaust, massive killing by atrocities by Hitler and other people. No one expected her to be struggle-free merriment. After the New York event, means reception, visiting places in New York, Baltimore, and other places, Washington. So after the New York event, our Retta Winters, goodbye to the family, got on a train, traveled to Washington, staying in Georgetown Hotel. She was staying at a hotel at Georgetown, and it's the top floor reserved for me by my publisher. So this hotel room was given to me by my publisher, something called the writer's suite. Underline, it is not a suite for the young couple. It is a suite for the writer, literary architects, literary people. So in the hotel, the room given to me by my publisher was not a single room, but it was a writer's suite. A brass plaque on the door announced this astonishing fact. It was written on a very big ornamental plate that it was a writer's suite given to Retta Winters. A brass plaque. The writer was being reincarnated. Mrs. Retta Winters from Lancaster entered this doorway with a small suitcase in tow and looked around, not daring to imagine what might find. Retta Winters reached this hotel, occupied this room. She had been carrying a big suitcase, a small suitcase. There was a salon as well as a bedroom. One salon was there, boutique room, and as well as bedroom. 2 full bathrooms and a well-wide bed and more sofas than I would have time to sit on my short stay A coffee table consisting of a sheet of glass posed on 3 immense Fox books. Underline Fox books. Fox books artificial. Some artificial books. Total silence prevail in the hotel. Total silence prevail in the writer's suite. All convenience and accomplishments were there, and even the reading materials kept there. A large bookshelf held in tomes of authors who had been stayed the suite. Previously, how many writers had visited this hotel? How many people stayed there? All their evidences were given because their handwritten specimen copy of their brilliant works have been kept there. A large book. We like to ask our guests to contribute a copy of their book. The desk clerk told me, desk clerk of the hotel reported our Retta Winters. Those people live here in this writer's suite usually would give one their specimen copy of their publication. I had only a single reading copy with me, but I would attend the copy in the local store. That would be much appreciated. See whistle to the sleeve of my raincoat. Actually, I had no copy of my book, My Time's Up. But I planned I would buy it from the nearby booksellers and would hand over. Books left behind by previous authors were disappointing. Underline all the books kept there disappointed our Retta Winters. Inspiration manifest self-manuals with a few thrillers thrown. I am certainly snob. Policy making rules. I read the Jackie Onassis biography. For example, my close association with writers such as Daniel A. Westerman has conditioned me to hope for the degree of ambiguity, nuance, and there was no one there. So a type of nuance created in me means a small of difference. In the great wide bed I had disturbing but not unfamiliar dreaming. I always have. Then I was away from Lancaster, away from my family. When I lied on the bed, I was thinking about Tom and my children. Nancy, what will be Nancy doing that time? What will be Chris doing that time? What will be Nora doing that time? I felt a type of homesickness. In the great a disturbing unfamiliar dream, I always have been always Lancaster, always family. I am standing in the kitchen. Then I slowly went to sleep. That time I had a dream that I was standing in the kitchen producing a complicated meal for guests. In the dream, I saw I was preparing food for some guest, but there is not enough food to work with. Nothing kept in the fridge, nothing kept in the house, nothing kept in the kitchen. So I was unhappy to make a feast for guest. In the fridge sits a single egg and maybe a tomato. When I opened my fridge, it is happening in the dream. When I opened the refrigerator, when I opened the fridge, I saw only one tomato and one egg. How am I going to feed this hungry mouse? Underline hungry mouse. Hungry mouse stand for hungry readers. In a way, indirectly, Retta Winters thinking, how can I satisfy all the readers in the world? By producing one book. Like that, when I make a very big dinner with one egg and one tomato, how can I satisfy my guest? I am quite aware of how it dream might be analyzed, dream expert. If I tell this dream to any psychologist, what would he say? Scarcity of food stands for scarcity of love. People would say, my scarcity of food stands for scarcity of love. That no matter how I stretch the egg and the tomato, there will be enough Retta Winters for everyone who needs her. But I am one thing sure. If Retta Winters wants to write something, she would write. If Retta wants to make a feast for the guest, she would prepare it. Rita Winters, this is how my friend Gwen, whom I am looking forward to seeing Baltimore. One of my friends is Gwen. Gwen also is waiting at Baltimore. Immediately after New York mission, I would go to Baltimore. Would she interrupt a dream? I would say, tell her that Gwen is obsessive keeper of dream journal, as or quite a number of my friends, and she also records dreams of others. And Gwen, what speciality my friend at Baltimore has? She has a tendency to analyze and interpret several people's dreams. Then definitely I would tell my Gwen, my friend, recently I saw a dream where I was preparing a kitchen feast, where I opened the fridge. I saw only one tomato and one egg. What is the significance of it? I would ask my friend Gwen at Baltimore. I resist that theory of insufficient love. My dream, I think, points out abrupt cessation of interruption of daily obligation. For 20 years I have been responsible producing 3 meals a day. That would be a type of interpretation. I had been using 3-day meal together. My husband wants a particular thing. My children would prefer something other than that. So I used to prepare 3-time meals every day for several individuals I live with. I may not be conscious of obligation, because being a housewife, being a lady of the house, it was my obligation. I must always torment the girls' friends. My mother-in-law next door also is there. Not merely Tom, not my children. My mother-in-law is next door. She also wanted some food from my kitchen, so I used it to prepare. Mother-in-law next door, passing acquaintance away from home, liberated responsibility of the unexpected calculation, steal to my dreams, leave me blithering with a diminished store of nourishment. The fact of my unpresence is such a small dream crisis, underlines such a small dream crisis. Though I relax now in the hotel writer's suite, all the memories of my house, or it would be better to say I am homesick and thinking about, or memory of, or recollection of my husband and my children, even my mother-in-law haunting me. Since my Times of his first novel, since mine is unknown name, there was a little format in Washington. Mrs. Scribano had been afraid would happen. Television station where I interested, radio station, novels unless topic like cancer or child abuse. I managed to fulfill my obligation mere 2 hours. Nowadays, I take 2 hours of interview with the television people or to the printing press people. Politics and books on called Politics and Prose, where I signed books of the other baffled, confused looking customers, then a few more like copies of said kind enough to produce. I hand the whole thing badly, was overly bullied, happy with books buyers. Too chatty, wanting them to love me as they said aloud my book. Anyway, I understood. Rita Winters understood. All the people love her, not only loving her but also her books. My impulse was to apologize for the younger and more fetching, like Alice in my novel, not having bright unique voice and manner. I was ashamed of my red pantsuit, a catalog issue 185, I remember, walking the writer's suit to appointed deodorant. After thinking, what would be the best for the common people, then I returned to my writer's suit to apply some deodorant, deodorant that you use for your body. From Politics and Prose, I took a cab to a store and called a page. From that place, what is called Politics and Prose is a place, a type of a restaurant, from where I went to another place, a store or pages. There were no buying customers at all, but two young proprietors took me to a splendid lounge in Italian bistro. Then two publishers were waiting for me. They took me to Italian bistro. Bistro is a small hotel, bistro, Italian. Also, give me a free copy of my book to leave the writer's suit. Then it was afternoon's time, whole afternoon. I had nothing to do until the next morning when I was to make trek in Baltimore. Mr. Scribano had warned me I might find turning lonely. I returned to the hotel. So, after discussion with the new publishers, and they also gave me one copy of my Time's Up, and now I returned to writer's suit. I felt very lonely. I returned to the hotel, freshened up. I took a bath and placed my book on the bookshelf. While I had returned to the hotel, what homing instinct had brought me here when I might be visiting museums, perhaps taking to the Stannett Chambers. There was a wide springtime afternoon to fill, and even to, since no one had suggested taking to a dinner. Immediately after taking my bath and refreshing, then somebody called me for a dinner. I decided to go to shopping of Georgetown area, underline now next my mission to visit Georgetown area. Having spotted from a taxi number of Tiny Boutique, then I called a taxi. My daughter Nora's birthday, underline Nora. Now immediately I think to join Georgetown hotel area. Then I thought about my daughter's birthday. My Nora's birthday was coming in weeks' time. Within a week, my Nora, my daughter, will get a birthday. She longed to have beautiful and serious scarf, underline. Nora always demanding a scarf. Then I thought I would buy from Georgetown. She longed to have a beautiful, serious scarf. She had never had a scarf in all her 17 years. Now she is a teenage girl. She had no scarf at all. She had been longing for it, but I could not supply her. Then I thought, in this birthday, I would present her a scarf. This is the title of the story. His 17 years of, but since her senior class trip to Paris, she had been talking about scarves that every chic French woman wears part of the wardrobe. All the Frenchmen, all the French girls who are living or studying in her classes would have been wearing this scarf. But my daughter Nora doesn't have it. These scarves of artfully draped from silk, nothing else would do. Their colors shocked awakeness of the dearest. Not drearist means not good looking for clothes. Wilted heavy blazers that French women wear, those cheap black cardigans they try to get away with. Cardigans means over jacket, and blazers also jackets. All these jackets along with the different color, they would wear a typical scarf which would not be so attractive or matching to other colors. Now she plans to buy a scarf from the town Georgetown to present her daughter Nora, who has been demanding a scarf, and she decided to buy this scarf from this Georgetown trip. That was the plan. And by next area that we will come together, page number 128. From there we will start by next class. Till that moment, goodbye.